It's hard to remember. Last time I watched Taxi Driver was a couple years ago, but I don't really remember exactly what the last sequence is. Okay, so I guess this is sort of a sensible place to look around next. I've been into like basically here yesterday, and then I was pretty gassed from the boss. So I ran around a little bit more randomly. So I guess I'm gonna clear this area and then down. So I guess we can check out these ruins. That guy's gone. I got his martial arts for New Game Plus in the future. I got my new spells. Hold on. I'm looking at stuff. Do I want to change things around? I don't need both moons. This one's fine. That was really fun fighting the monk. Do I want one more spell here? And bust out the Eternal Darkness at the end. A trap card. I'll have to rewatch it. I mean, I've probably seen Taxi Driver like 4 times. Actually, it's weird that I don't remember that. But I love that spell. That like Marty Scorsese like Robert De Niro run was like a really enjoyable thing to like first start learning about when I was like first starting to take film classes and watching stuff. Watching like Taxi Driver the first time, Mean Streets, Raging Bull, all those movies. I've still never seen Kings of Comedy, the one with Jerry Lewis. I should watch that at some point. You okay, bud? What are these people doing over here? Kind of felt like he just wanted to shoot with them pistols or show some power to some guys that felt like the baddies. That's what he did. That's what he was like the entire movie. Where's this item? Down here? Oh. Shattered Stone Talisman. Raises his potency of kicking and stomping skills. Hell yeah. Can I get down there? That can't be the right way. Those are some of the moments, like everyone knows those parts, but those are kind of some of the parts about like Travis Bickle and Taxi Driver generally that work so well, because clearly he's like really like sort of ill, but I think some of the things he does are like things that a lot of people sort of think about. Like that sort of feeling of like even the milder version of like feeling like you're practicing arguments with people and stuff like that. I think a lot of people identify with that. Even today, I was like having a made-up argument in my head with someone. Usually when you do that, it's like some sort of unresolved thing, honestly, where you just kind of know, I think, generally speaking, you're in the wrong to some degree or another. God, I hate these dogs. Holy shit. They both not dead? I hate them so much. I hate them so much. Thank you. 2 of those dogs as a mage is such a nightmare. All my spells are so slow. I should probably just bust out the sword for those guys. Yeah, so I watched The Breakfast Club last night. I don't know how much was my mood, but I thought it was quite boring for most of it. It's basically like, this is not like an original, this is not like that crazy or creative a thought though, but it's very clearly kind of like a theater play. And I think that it like wraps up satisfying. like the way that it ends, it's very satisfying the way that it ends, generally speaking, and like the way that it kind of like what things happen. But I think it's also like I thought that marijuana scene, which apparently is quite famous, was like really like not authentic. It's like what an adult would think would happen in a Hollywood movie to what teens would be like when they smoke pot. For one, there's no come down. They're high for like a 3-minute scene, and then there's no residual effects for the rest of the movie. If those are actual people smoking pot together, 20 minutes later they wouldn't be talking to each other. They'd be like basically all stuck in their own heads, basically. Emilio Estevez is like running around all energetic. He's showing his real self once he gets high. The other guy puts on sunglasses. There's like a harmonica song playing that's like so inauthentic to like actually what weed is like. Most people who smoke weed at a party tend to regret it because then they don't talk to anyone at the party. I'm dead. Rip. Did you take a deeper understanding of the characters? I thought Judd Nelson's character was really good. I thought they're all kind of good. I think it's sort of like a bit simplistic, like Molly Ringwald's character and everything. I thought it was good. I thought it ended well. I thought the thing where Anthony Michael Hall, or whatever his name is, I thought the way that he was like revealing that he brought a gun to school, I thought that was going to be a crazier thing than it was. I think it was satisfying. I just thought it was pretty boring for a lot of it. And Judd Nelson looks like he's like fucking 27 years old in that movie. Like I'm like, is his hair gray? Am I crazy? But like that's kind of classic 80s movie. Like even more so, that's like basically kind of like in the same deal as like Dazed and Confused. Like those dudes are all like their mid-20s basically. My souls. Emilio Estevez was like a good-looking dude. I wonder why his career and Charlie Sheen's like kind of split up in the ways that they did. He's got that kind of golden tan. He's got like that skin tone that I was always sort of jealous of. I'm like a little bit ginger, like mostly Irish and Scottish in my background. Oh shit. Am I falling to my death again? No, okay. So like I get a little reddish and a little pinkish, but like there's always people in your grade and people in your class who get that kind of like golden skin tone just naturally. Probably because his father is like slightly Hispanic, but like this I don't know. Some people are like blessed with that golden hue. It's funny to see pictures of like that nerd as he grew up in Hollywood. Anthony Michael Hall, I think his name is. Some three name. And then he's like trying. He's like pretty. He looks pretty suave looking later on. Looks so serious. So it was good. I see why the movie was popular at that time. You know what I mean? Kind of like the 5 archetypes, and they try to make them more complex. Outside of a few scenes, it basically could have been a stage play. It's all basically set in that one room. Where am I going? Okay, I didn't get in that building, so I gotta go back. So the 3 movies basically all involve Molly Ringwald, and it's 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, and Breakfast Club. Yeah. I saw some picture of him looking really suave and blonde. His like wife is like 20 years younger than him. Yeah. I was also looking at Google pictures. I was also Googling images of Judd Nelson. And that guy looks completely different in every single photo. Like Judd Nelson at like 20, 30, 40, whatever it is. All these pictures, he looks so different. That guy's gone through the ringer, man. funny part of that movie is everyone's smooching in front of their parents at the end of the movie. It was also really amazing, like the makeup job they did on Ali Sheedy. Like, it's really amazing, man. Like, she goes from like pointy chin to like such soft features once she gets like the glow up. Crazy. Nice. I have so many incantations in this game. What? Yeah, so I'm glad I saw it. I like seeing movies I haven't seen before, you know what I mean? That's sort of like one of those classics that a lot of people saw. You even like understand, you even like hear phrases in that movie, you're like, oh, I remember people saying this before. The hot beef injection? I'd always heard that phrase. Maybe that was first in that movie. To Judd gone to ringer? I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what I said that was similar to that. Oh, we got another pot friend place. Who's this? One of those dudes? Okay, we're clear. Yeah, for the first like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the movie, whatever, I thought Judd Nelson was the best part by far. I also like the David Bowie quote that's at the very beginning of the movie. It kind of gets to something I think is quite true. One, there's a very, very touching moment in the movie where, like, near the end when they're all talking together at the last 15 minutes. It's a very touching moment where they're like, what happens, like, why does everyone's heart die as they get older? And I really think that is true, honestly. That's like a weird thing, I think, for kids to realize. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Why can't I target this guy? What? I can't target the third. God damn, dude. I have no stamina. Shit, I have no stamina. I'm dead. I think it's a weird thing to realize, like how people care so much when they're younger, you know what I mean? And they kind of wonder why adults don't. But I think as you grow up, you kind of realize that you kind of like run out of gas for like really, really super caring about everything. I think it's a sad reality. But I think for like 95% of people, it's sort of true. Like the immediacy of the moment changes into like sort of like a long-term view of things. I thought that was a touching part of the movie. But yeah, Judd Nelson's character was quite good in the beginning. Like everyone kind of like asking why he doesn't fit in. He's like, I don't fit in because this is all bullshit. Like I kind of wonder, I don't know. I kind of wonder whether he'll be like in most ways. Like I sort of wonder, can you stop? Like you sort of wonder which of those people is gonna end up the best. You know what I mean? In different ways, they're probably gonna end up the best. Like probably Anthony Michael Hall's character is probably gonna be like the richest. Molly Ringwald's or Emilio Estevez will probably be like, they have the most like conventionally normal life. The guy named Bowtied Bull I follow on Twitter, who kind of talks about like which people in like the teenage life in like the teenage years kind of generally end up the best. And he's kind of right in what he says, is that like in many ways jocks always win. Like if I have kids, I would not try to like micromanage their lives very heavily, but I would sort of say that like your main things to do when you're in high school is to basically just like double down. I don't know, to some degree, kind of like the athletic jockey style. It does always kind of win. It's gonna put you in the best place. It's gonna put you in the best place later on. Just be like as healthy and like as happy as you can be, man. But a lot of other stuff works out. You'll be around better girls. You'll look better. You'll feel better. You still have a lot of time later to like actually develop real skills, but to be like really, really mopey and like be pretty hard on yourself is like probably the worst thing you can do at that age, because you have no brains, but like you're so like your like athletic capacity and just like overall like health levels can be quite high. I think is the best way to go. It translates the best into like having an okay life later, I think. Just like play sports and like keep your skin clean. Try to be as like mentally balanced and physically balanced as you can be. The rest of the stuff works out. The kids who like think they're too smart for everything being normal and like smoke a bunch of cigarettes and fuck their lives up and like moke, that's fair, man. Like I'm 100% like that, but just like take care of yourself and like let things work themselves out, basically. Just be as mentally healthy as you can, physically healthy as you can, so that your like later decisions actually turn out well. I honestly think that's the best approach. Just like learn how to talk to girls. Be like honestly, learn how to like be truthful to like all of your friends. A lot of the characters were like kind of trapped in their friendships because of like social pressure bullshit. You gotta learn to be like the one who breaks that mold. Sometimes I think about how like honestly the best trait you can have, especially as a guy, is to like figure out a way just to realize that you can remove yourself from situations and not feel trapped in them. That's like your trump card as a dude, is just to like fucking find something new. And don't accept your current circumstances if you don't have to. Are jocks the middle people? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. It's sort of like jocks are the ones who are going to be resented by the most people while still being probably like the happiest and healthiest. So what's the downside there, you know? Getting Michael Myers again. This time I'm on horseback. This is a mistake. Nice dodge by that guy. What the fuck's my stamina bar? God damn it, this game is so fucking stupid. My problem there was being on the horse. You're not very agile on the horse. I think they're like the ones who will most likely end up in the upper class, honestly. I think they'll have the highest, I mean, at the very least, you probably have the highest floor. to be honest, most of the people who I met or who I knew from high school and college, or most specifically from college, most of the people who like feel like, oh, he's just like the dumbass, you know what I mean? Like that guy's just like kind of, oh, I hate this fucking place. I'm dead. I lost my souls. Those guys stabbed me from behind, really annoying. Most of the people who got the best jobs out of college, in my experience, were the guys who were sort of like a little more like what everyone thought was like the conventional kind of like simple guy. Like if you're trying to get into like a finance job or something like that, so much of that is like vibe based. And being sort of like the handsome dude with good connections, who like isn't sort of hung up on problems, tends to be like the best way to go about those things, I think. I hate this place. Oh my God, it's so annoying. Says the guy brainlessly spamming Moonblade. I'm dead. These little fucking little dudes pecking me from the sides makes fighting those bigger guys harder. I'm at the point now, having played a bunch of these games, that I'm kind of getting to be more of like the perspective of, I think a lot of people had that I was scorning before, is just like, don't care about clearing all these areas full of like middle dudes. Like the loot seems to matter less than when I was exploring the game previously. Like, in some ways, the highest potential people are the people who are, like, the real weird, sort of Asperger's people, who have, like, really, like, high-end, who, like, really learn a lot and go really high-end as they get older, as, like, when they're a teen. Oh. I'm gonna lose it. I don't know, I'm just exploring the map. Lots of new stuff I haven't seen before. Just trying to cover as much of the game as I can. Every area that shows up in the map with a little icon is gonna have a couple of treats for you. Check it all out, get all the stuff. Surmount every challenge, see everything. Can't beat the twin moons, baby. It just does not fail. Do I finally have a super melee move? It's so sick. I cannot tell you how happy I am with my new move. I guess bosses is probably not going to be great against, because bosses are bigger. I hope my cat's gonna do well if I live in like a more urban place. I was just thinking as I'm leaving here, like at the end of the month, that like this has been like a really good spot for me the last like year and a half. Like totally outdoorsy, like really private, really quiet, like crazy affordable. Pretty good. All things must come to an end. Because a couple other of the words were they just look really Finnish. Like $1,000 all in for all living. It's pretty good. For a house to yourself, it's pretty good. There's a whip with teeth on it. I like that. I think I'll go down to the southeast here. Maybe I'll go further. What's up, buddy? How are you? I had a funny feeling another Grace would be coming up. To the south we go. One thing that Dark Souls 2 did, which no game ever did since then, was that once you killed enemies a certain amount of times, they would start to disappear from the map. So it had like a much more sort of like a, not a roguelike structure, but like a traversal style. Dark Souls 1 was so much less about the boss fights and more about like your adventuring in the map. And Dark Souls 2 kind of doubled down on that by having you lose your health when you died, but the more times you went through an area, the more that like guys would eventually just disappear, because you had these longer gauntlets before you got to a boss. That was an interesting design. Tank. What are these guys from? I think the first guy was stronger than them. It's over there that I marked. Another obelisk? Okay. Obviously, house is so much more important than car. Yeah, but you spend more time in your house than your car. And like it determines your like well-being more. Are these gonna hit the chains? What do you think here? Most of them did. These guys are annoying. This is one of those places that like really drained my mana before. Funny thing about houses is like they all get sort of built the same, and people just sort of adjust to them. There's not a lot of ways you can like really customize your house. Most houses are kind of pre-built for you, you know what I mean? A lot of people look for their dream home. But they kind of look for their dream home by like buying a house that someone else built. Funny how that works. Like you hope for you obviously you try to get the best house that you can. But like it's pretty expensive to build your own house or really customize the one you have. But it's funny how people try to buy a house that someone else thought of and expect it to be the perfect house for them. I guess I'm trying to... Fuck. Dead here, I think. Oh, great. Yeah, you have to get something near where you live. I live in Canada. A car is like a tool. We kind of like overthink how much a car is like important. It feels nice to have some. It feels nice to have nice things. It doesn't matter that much. I think it's homing missile. That's a homing missile. It's really weird. I think people's like self-esteem is kind of caught up in their stuff too much sometimes, I think. A legitimate insecurity. Over here is where the stupid slimes are, right? My new spell. Enjoy this, boys. This is so tanky. Oh my god, I'm so satisfied with my new move. Point of fighting these guys. I don't see it. They don't give you very much. They don't give you good loot. There's no game in which slime. Oh, there's no game in which slimes give you good things ever. 100 to 0. Sick, man. So cool. But Thomas, you should use some more Erdtree fragments if that's happening to you. This is how people see you. Yeah. Yeah, they just added that. The lady who lives there is like really like a very neurotic person. And so I think she's probably the reason why they did that. No one's driving that road more than like 10 kilometers an hour, but she still wants to have that. You're about a minute away from the most interesting thing that happened during the you're about a minute away from the most interesting thing that happened during the course of filming that video. You'll know it when you see it. Totally threw me off for the rest of it. I'm looking thick lately. I'm getting fat. Well, I'm just losing muscle. I'll start working out again in September. No, not the geese. Soon though. If I drop down here, I think I should keep going this way. Oh, there's a lot of these dudes. So sick, oh my god. For that's like probably one of my most, that's probably one of, if not my most scrambled thoughts video. I got everything I wanted to say, but it's in totally bad order, and like I was so disorganized. I do it off the cuff. I kind of like know all the things I'm going to say, but I don't like think about it beforehand or script it. And normally I like start and lose my train of thought about 2 or 3 times, and then usually like my 4th or 5th attempt, usually I fuck up in the first minute or so, and then I restart it. So it's usually like 3 or 4. It's usually 4 or 5 takes. I did, yeah. Dude, that was so close to that fly. I was so close to swallowing that fly, you have no idea. shit, I thought I changed to my sword there. Yeah. That's the way it goes, man. It's like when I'm fighting a boss in one of these games. If I say a boss is easy when I got it 80% down, that means the boss is going to kill me. Do some sort of miraculous combo and end my life. One shot? Sick. I can use these to jump down too. Lots of different ways to go through here, I think. Just hanging out in the jails. Classic. Oh, shut up. Oh, rip. Usually the pots give you, like, cracked pots or hefty pots or something. I don't mind kind of clearing stuff as I go through it, especially the first time. When you're in some area you haven't been to before, running past everything seems kind of lame. I don't know. It doesn't feel very satisfying. I do it sometimes if I'm getting sick of an area. The first few times through an area, I think it's best to kind of... But sometimes it means that you die instead. It's funny how they only really do the lunge when they, the first time they see you. That was close. Whoa. Do I know the lore behind the pot and flesh enemies? I mean, a little bit. I've kind of seen more and more as I go into these other jails that they talk about people being trapped in them and stuck in there forever. That's about as much of the lore as I know. One thing is, I kind of have to keep my health up. Can't really, like, especially with game being as punishing as it is, I can't really afford to be at like 70-80% health. This guy's gonna murder me. That was a bit too much mana to use. What can you do? I was thinking this morning how I like that classic emote. Makes me happy. I got there. Right. Yeah, yeah. I saw the ghost guy who was like, "This is what you deserve," shaman types. When I was at the whipping hut. Some sort of torture type jail prison thing going on here. Shit. There we go. That was close. Really? But is the Elden God the same as the Elden Lord? Shove. So was Marika the Elden Lord before Godfrey, or is the Elden God something different? or is she one after Godfrey? Saw yesterday that Dr. Disrespect started tweeting again. Already on the offensive. Pretty bold to say that he's playing chess while the people are playing checkers. I think generally what happens to people is once you get to a point where like you are even reasonably excommunicated for your beliefs, people will start to kind of get like kind of edgy. And be like, oh, nice work, Wokey. You're all brainwashed. It kind of seems like he's at that stage. Basically what you do is like once you get sort of like shoved out of mainstream society to some degree, you start to sort of like double down on the people who already still like you. Probably kind of what's happening here. A lot of people find that you can sort of like having a little edgier content makes it so like the people who do like you a lot, and you can kind of double down on that. Was this where I was before? This is a different place. The Elden God need to have an Elven Lord serving her Godfrey serve Marika. Oh yeah. Yeah, I did the Randy ending actually. So I'm her consort. A cold, dark, sad life apparently is what I chose for everybody. Well, could be worse. I kind of figured that was just like my magic user style, you know? Use my girl. Is the guy gonna break out of this pot? Oh, that pot. Both of them. And Poe. Where's my FP regenerating one? There it is. I should use the horn that gives you FP when you kill someone. It's probably the best efficiency for dungeons like this. Dungeons like this seem very long. Yet another way that like using like an in-scaling weapon like Moonveil or something is like, oh fuck, that can't really hit me. Is like probably a more efficient style. Oh fuck, what is this, man? Please don't kill me. Hopefully there's some Marika, at least before the boss. There usually is. Okay, so I'm probably gonna die here. So here's something I learned from fighting Ranalana yesterday, is that Terra Magica works inside here if you use it before you get through. Oh, I got him. That was a pretty fast one. I'm in the Bonnie jail. Somewhere in like the southeast area. Another one of these like gross jar rooms. I'm in the dark. I don't like that one bit. A Discord link? Slow to load. That link's not working. One more. One. Damn it. Oh, these guys. That's a different one. That was a really far away area. But there's a number of these like jar jails. Yeah, it's much shorter range, and it's a triple slam. Don't spoil it for me. I don't know what loot I'm gonna get. What's the purpose of telling me that? Are you just flexing your game knowledge? Damn, this guy does so much damage. It's crazy. If I can get 2 moons without dying, I think I kill him. hear him. Look at that. Absolute assassin. That's what I'm doing. One of these times, double Moonblaze. Yeah, you. 2 days ago, Vulgar, I did that over and over on screen, frame by frame in a Premiere Pro, to show the moment in which the fly flew into my mouth. I'm glad that you found that too. Did you post that on my Discord? I want to keep that forever. It's so funny. If you look, like, my mouth is open like an inch. My mouth is open like an inch. I have like a pretty tight jaw. My mouth doesn't open that much. So for that guy to do that, it's so crazy. Trevor, I thought that was funny yesterday when you were like, who's gonna win? A guy with fists or a guy summoning 2 moons? Look at that damage. One more. Come on. Let me do it. Let me do it. Come on. One more. Hey. I bet that's a good Spirit Dash. Yeah. Obvious until it wasn't obvious. These are kind of like an upgraded version of some of the jails that you'd play in the base game. All right, there's so much more to this area. There's so much more to this level I haven't done yet. I'll have to retrack myself. I'm really excited with his ability. I don't think it's that good against bosses because bosses are so tall and have so much range that they'll probably knock you out of the air. But for like little stubby guys who are melee guys, it seems like oddly effective so far. Pretty fun too. I'm glad that the hardest boss fight so far finally gave me a spell I can use and enjoy. Pretty happy about that. I knew one of those times he's gonna let me. I was gonna pull it off. Can I use these to get down? I think so. Oh, this is where... Yeah, I watched The Breakfast Club last night. I guess kind of on his idea. Maybe next I'll watch Hunt for Red October. It's like basically like a... It's basically like a theater play. You know what I mean? Look at that, that's so crazy. Hunt for October? Yeah, I'm gonna watch that soon too. Yes, you get a transformation item from one of these dungeons, really? Sick. So I thought the first half was like fairly boring in some ways. It might have just been my mood, but I was kind of bored by it. I really thought Judd Nelson was like absolutely carried the movie for the first half. And then it did end satisfactorily though. Like I was happy with the way that it ended. I was surprised that like the gun thing wasn't like a bigger part of the movie. I thought that was gonna be like, whoa. But yeah, I totally get it. One of those like first movies that's like actually sort of trying to be like honest about what the teens are like. Pretty good. Some of the scenes, like the marijuana theme, like the marijuana scene, were like classic. Like, this is written by someone who doesn't smoke it. Kind of what it felt like a little bit. Oh. I was talking this before, but like the other thing I found funny is if you Google images of him, of Judd Nelson, at every single decade of his age, he looks like a completely different person. Yeah, probably. Also, the dying at 59 part. Gone to Ringer. That doesn't sound like something I said. I don't even know what that means. Which platforms do I stream except YouTube? Twitch and YouTube. I saw some charts today showing how much like Twitch is losing market share. It's interesting too. Mostly losing it to YouTube. Twitch is mostly losing market share to YouTube, but obviously Kick and things like that as well. I think also like if you're like under 25, you probably get more from TikTok than anything. TikTok sort of like microtransaction thing of like showing emotes and chat and stuff like that is probably better than a sub. Sub is like, I think less meaningful for people than those little on-air like little goldfish brain like instant gratification of like an emote on screen. TikTok's also like a little clearer on like how much you make after an individual stream in some ways. I think things like that are probably better than ad revenue and subs. You can stream on TikTok, yeah. I think it's best. There's programs that do this now, but there's more programs now that allow you to stream both in horizontal and vertical at the same time. There's some like extent programs that do it for you. TikTok already does that natively, so you stream in both formats at once, which is probably the smart move. Fuck me, dude. The damage is so high. A lot of people who like started streaming on, who've like been on YouTube for a while. There's a guy from like New Brunswick who I follow who's like kind of like a retro game guy. And he started, like when Final Fantasy Rebirth came out, he started streaming Final Fantasy Rebirth in horizontal, and then the original Final Fantasy 7 in vertical. And it was like night and day how much viewership he got. Vertical just like gets in front of more people, with like people just like scrolling through their phone feed. Twitch is banned in your country, you said? Is that what you mean, or do you mean TikTok? Probably mean TikTok, right, SSK? Yeah. I wonder how many countries TikTok's banned in. Like, what country do you live in, if you mind me asking? That's wild. Who wants to watch anything in vertical? If you're on like your phone, it'll show up on like your Shorts feed or your TikTok feed. They'll show clips and they'll also show streams. So that's why. Okay, I guess I got everything here. A couple items here I missed. power walking? How do I get up there? So the format is both of your feet can't be off the ground at the same time, right? That's like the thing that determines whether it's walking or running, right? How do I get up there? You have to drop down. I really like that famous clip of the girl, she's Spanish or Italian or something like that, prematurely celebrating. Or kind of like traveling in basketball. That's like one of the biggest things people who are like old school basketball heads talk about, is how like just refs just like don't give a shit about traveling anymore. Probably league memorandums that like it was slowing down the game too much to like call travels. And just like every player travels constantly. That's one of the things a lot of like old school basketball heads talk about, is like they always talk about player and like relative player strength. They'll be like, this player in the current environment where there's no hand checks and whatever, like these are always the things where like you couldn't stop whatever, like you couldn't stop Jordan during this era because like there's no hand checks now, or there's hand checks or whatever it is. I forget, I'm not sure exactly what the differences are, but people talk about that a lot. No damage. You know what's funny in sports? It always makes people look like they're smiling with heavy breathing. It's funny when you watch like someone who's not fit in life, in that moment where like that one time in like the last month they have to run because they have to like get a crosswalk or something, and like the lights going red when it's green. And even people who are like pretty out of shape, you watch them in that moment as they run across the road, and they're kind of having a good time. You know what I mean? It shows how much like things are good for your mental health to some degree or other. Hold on, I gotta read this wall of text here. I was hoping that guy would fall off. Someone's shooting at me. Any dudes in here gonna assassinate me? Okay, let me read this balking rules. Okay. I worry about Fairuza Balk too. She was just so well cast and she looked so mean in American History X. I agree with that. Fairuza Balk is Persian? Fairuza? That kind of seems Persian. That's a funny thing about baseball. Baseball is so casual in that way. Fuck, am I dead? Rip. I gotta do this whole thing again. They are. They're like... They're even more white looking than Shia, generally speaking, are. That's the reason why my Persian friends are so offended when people call them like Arabs. They're like, we hate those people more than anyone here hates those people. It's not even close. Oh yeah. In my experience, I have a number of Persian friends Oops. In my experience, Persians are like some of the most like I don't want to say nationalistic because they hate their like current regime and their leadership, but Persians are really, really proud and a little touchy about it. Like literally like 2 of my 10 best friends, or like 2 of my 10 favorite people, are Persian, and they're really, really proud of their country, like in terms of their youth culture and the people from their country. Obviously, they hate the clerical leader. They obviously hate the clergy, but Persians, generally speaking, I think are very like very proud. Yeah. One thing I noticed about my Persian friends is that they're like the number one culprit of like, they'll share you something like, hey, do you like this? What do you think? And then if you do a little bit of digging, that person is always Persian. Check out this video. Check out this song. They'll almost always be Persian. If you want to get a Persian person mad, trash talk their team during the World Cup. Or maybe don't. Okay, sleep well, pal. See you later. I've gotten like paragraphs of text from like mild teasing. He works long hours. He does 40 hours in 4 days. Uh-oh. Am I dead again? Physical work too. It's kind of a cool schedule. 3 12-hour days and a 4-hour day. Oh, fuck me. Oh no. Man, these guys are eating my lunch. Oh, that was close. I just want to get out of here. To have 3 days off after, that's not bad. Yeah. I just think extra. I think part of it is like largely because people have this like expectation of what like Iran is like. Always seeing as like this really bad guy, but like there's this huge like there's no country where there's like a big, I don't know, maybe there's some, but like it's one of the countries with like the biggest divide between like the old guy leadership and like the youth culture. Pretty fucking cool country in like the 70s before America messed everything up, as they are prone to do. Yeah, I bet. I bet because he's Swiss that it was a very like, he wrote in a very like neutral, sort of judgmental, kind of stiff way, right? Yeah, it's true. So what was the what was the thing that happened? Like, why was that the country we like took out? Is that just like Cold War proximity shit? Yeah. German people are so funny. Such a distinctive thought pattern. They're like one of like the main countries that make me think how like what your language is like to some degree kind of like determines how you think and approach things, especially when you're speaking in a different language. Like it's not like culturally personalities can be that different. I think a lot of it's like language and the way the language like kind of structures your thinking relative to people in other countries. Oh god. I'm playing on PC. I would have maybe got this game on console, but I bought the game on sale, like a year and a half before I played it. Yeah. Yeah, very sensible. Like a lot of like the Western concepts of small talk, like they just don't vibe with it at all. They just don't understand. Like they think you're like wasting time with words. Even their food is sort of like serious, down to earth, functional. Yeah, I'm playing with I'm using a PS4 controller. Okay, I think I got everything here. I gotta use the washroom and then get my water. I'm thirsty. I could take coffee too. Had to remove this really glued carpet at work that was 5 centimeters thick by hand bar crowbar. Since the carpet machine broken, cannot be fixed due to parts that can be maintained. That's annoying. German food is good. I really like schnitzel. So delicious. I can't even think of what they do for vegetables. Can't remember. All right, back. When I was in Japan, the guy I'm renting from came here one of the nights. He was like setting up like a locksmith and like electrician or something like that. And even though I like set up the bed and everything so that he could sleep in it with like new sheets and everything, he still put out like this guy. Like Garrett's a big boy. Garrett's like 6'3", probably like 250, and he like slept on the futon in the floor in the guest room, which he didn't need to do, but if he wants to, that's fine. But the secret benefit is that he left the futon down, kind of like half folded up. It like folds like in threes. So now that's like my cat's bedroom. Like at night last night after we finished watching Breakfast Club, I like brushed my teeth and had a shower and went to bed. And my cat just like walks into the spare bedroom and gets on the futon and just like gets ready to go to bed. Like she usually sleeps some combination of like the living room or like at the foot of my bed, but now she's got her own room. When you're 6 years old, you start having your own independence. She's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. Yeah, I use that like leather lazy boy. You remember from before? Put the feet up and she sits on like the footrest of the lazy boy. That's another reason why I like to watch a movie in the evening. Get some good cat time. We're hanging out. The girl from the meme is a claims adjuster, really? According to this map, how do I get down the next part? He lives in Hamilton now. He's spending a lot of time in Toronto the past few weeks, understandably. Yeah, he does like emergency claims adjusting work. So oftentimes he's going to like the prairies, like Saskatchewan and Manitoba, because like some freak like hailstorm or something like that will destroy 100 houses. I feel like every 3 times I talk to him, he's like doing a week or 2 in Winnipeg or something. He always did insurance work because that's what his dad did, but he like caught the bug for like doing like the higher pay emergency stuff because he did like right out of college he did like Katrina. So he like went to New Orleans for like 8 months, made like $150,000 something like that, and he overstayed his visa and got kicked out of the country for like 5 years. Even though his parents are American, and he was like worth. And then ever since that, he was always like, if I'm gonna get into like the insurance work, I'm gonna get into like the emergency stuff. So once like all the COVID stuff happened and he got laid off from Allstate, he basically just like chilled here at this house with like his money from his Hamilton house sale and like his severance, and just like chilled until he actually could get one of those jobs where you're like, all right, we send you away 5 months a year basically, but you don't do anything during the winter except like basic paperwork. So he's like sort of like a hired gun. Have I fought the Dancing Lion? Yeah. So I fought 2 Remembrance bosses so far as I know. So I fought the Dancing Lion and I fought Rolana. All that for a mushroom? As far as I know, it's residential. All I've ever heard him talk about is residential stuff. He learned how to start using drones recently, the last year or two. Do like aerial flyovers and stuff to like survey stuff. Probably a good tool in the old arsenal. Any of my friends who do insurance stuff, one of my friends is like an insurance lawyer, and then my friend Garrett as well. Like when they first start doing the job, they're like, oh my god, am I the bad guy? Like, this feels bad because like they have such a bad rep. And then like you ask them again like a couple of years later, they're like, if you understand how much people lie and like what pieces of shit people are, you like stop feeling sorry for them as much as you used to. I was like, yeah, that's probably fair. Oh no. How do I get out of here? It's so dark. We're in Wolf Alley. Yeah, I think it's true. You start to see like the nuance. You start to both sides things a little bit, for better or for worse. Some of my some people that I know are like worked in like some people that I know that we both know who may or may not be related to me did like work in like Indian affairs, Native affairs. And then maybe they start to have some kind of like controversial views about that as well. When that's one of those things that people are like pretty liberal about generally. And they start to have some pretty like cynical takes, I think, honestly. They're like not popular takes to have. You can go to the dungeon you discovered at the end yesterday. The Morth Ruins? Or is there something else I'm not thinking about? My soul's go. It's too dark. I'm scared I'm gonna fall off the cliff again. There. Excuse me. Excuse me. The lava forge? Ash of War, Raging Beast? That sounds cool. Too dark. I'm spooked out. Yeah, I think I found 2 different forge jails. Definitely want to do those. I'm trying to go section by section. So it's not so random. I wonder how long an in-game day is in this game. Like 5, 6 minutes? 8 minutes? Oh. Oh yeah, I got 2 of these guys to fight too. I think there's at least 5 of these. Buddy, don't mind me just passing through. I'll be back. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I get it. What was the point of that spirit spring? Fuck. Jump up the cliff and then fall back down? Where am I? Wolves everywhere around here. Someone who popped by YouTube chat the other day was talking about how like he had heard reviews that this game's like, that the DLC was feeling sort of desolate. And I guess there's a little more spaced out in how much stuff there is by some percentage. This is like one hell of a big area to do for an expansion. It's like as big as Liurnia or like Caelid or something. Pretty good. Pretty good value. You don't have to. There's other ways you can kill him. I understand that hefty pots are helpful. I don't find it too hard as a caster. Oh, that's an Ash of War purely for Beast Claws. How much do I need for a level? 42,000. Probably have that. Again, you tend to get a lot of these. Do I have 42,000? I used a lot of these earlier. Maybe not. 75. 7,500. 13,000. That's 20,000. 25. 26. Not too much. Another 6,000 here. A bit short. I don't want to die. I want to get a level first before I go fight that fire giant guy. What's this over here? Ooh, a church. Use an armored one, you can't damage him otherwise, really? If the only way is the fire pots, I'm not very happy about that. I found the open world in the DLC seems a lot emptier than the main game. For sure. It feels like 30% emptier in terms of how spaced out everything is. Maybe they like this level of density better. Or maybe they wanted the... I don't know. It's tough to say. Yeah. Maybe they like it more this way. Or maybe they wanted it to seem bigger than it was. I don't know. That's kind of cynical. It's not a dog, you stupid guy. It's not a dog. These guys don't know what a dog is. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Music's a little minimal. I'm not exactly swimming in music here. Once in a while you get some like kind of ominous strings. A lot of times I feel like I'm running around in silence. Leave that turtle alone, you weirdo. The guy's harassing the turtle. Skyrim's a good comparison. Like, I never thought about it specifically when I was playing, but that had to be, like, one of the best, like, structured adventure maps, like, maybe ever. Some games, usually, like, CRPGs are, like, too dense. Some games, like, open world games are, like, too open. You're right, probably Skyrim probably is, like, the gold standard. I never once felt like it was too much or too little. It was, like, perfect. The map is really big. But I guess it's kind of cool, like... Sometimes a game can be like comically packed. The ultimate example of this, I've talked about this before, but the ultimate example of that for me was Divinity Original Sin 2, specifically Act 2, was like every corner you turn around is like a new community. It's like, all right, can we get some space to walk around here? But when you're playing like but when you're playing CRPGs like that, what's the deal with these? Should I break them? Should I break them up? Somewhere Spirit Springs unsealed. Should I break the one downstairs? Skyrim had you finding stuff to investigate every few hundred meters. Yeah, but it didn't feel like... a lot of times in Divinity Original Sin 2, there was like a quest hub with like a couple of quests and all this stuff, like so often that it was sort of exhausting. Skyrim had stuff, but some stuff was big, some stuff was small. This is where the Spirit Spring is now. Where am I trying to get on top of the roof? Whee! Yeah, that's fun. Okay, cool. Give me a memory slot. Rabath's Cannon. type of jar cannon used to fire great bolts. Cool. This kind of reminds me of the super cannon in Bloodborne. It had a high strength requirement and no scaling, but enormous base damage. Who needs a map? Tummy feels a little sensitive today. Something about my classic red curry rice noodle shrimp dish didn't exactly agree with me. I find that kind of happens. I wonder what part of that. Is it the curry sauce? I'm not sure what it is. My Caucasian European belly might find it too much. No. But I did have red Thai curry noodles and then some Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Maybe that was a bit too much for my old tummy. Yeah. It's coconut oil. I saute in coconut oil and then you add coconut milk to expand the curry paste. You make a curry paste that's like blended with like herbs and spices and a bit of like the actual dry curry paste. And then you expand it once you toast it for a few minutes with coconut milk. I just feel a little irritable. I just feel a little bit irritated, and I can still kind of taste it when I burp. But that was like 16 hours ago, so something about it didn't agree with me. Okay, nice, got a cannon. I was really hoping for one more. I swear to God, I would love one more memory slot. This is so crazy, by the way. This like moon trail. I don't even think I've actually noticed, like actively noticed that much. Amazing. Amazing. How was the sumo soup? Good. All that collagen? All that cabbage? Everything you could ask for. You know how we were saying before, how like you find soups like that very, very filling? And I kind of agree with you, especially with the amount of liquid in it. But I think the reason... Yeah. I think the reason those things are good for putting on weight is because it's sort of like an omelet. You know what I mean? Like it's extremely nutrient dense with very little like carbohydrate filler. So you can see how the way of like it being the most efficient way to eat a ton of food, that's like the most possible amount of nutrition pound for pound. And then especially the fact that you can like absorb the liquid and then like be able to like sleep that off, because they always exercise then eat chanko nabe and then go to sleep. The fact that you could eat all that, it's so nutrient dense. Carbs make you put on weight so much faster, but it's not like you wouldn't recover as well as an athlete, you know what I mean? You need some carbs, obviously, everyone knows that, but like that's like the most nutrient dense possible meal is to have something like that. Carbs are terrible for recovery? Yeah, exactly. But you need some performance. You need to recover glycogen and stuff like that. Like Steve Nash always is like the classic athlete of like don't eat any sugars whatsoever and then have a nap before games. And he aged so well. He never got injuries or anything. There's a lot of like weightlifters who are like people who are like anti-carb or sort of stupid. You need to have some. And the healthier you are, the more resilient you are toward it. A lot of times people get on these like really, really niche diets, but you're basically just saying that you're like unhealthy if you need this niche diet or else things don't work for you. I think it's such a good argument to say that like people who are like, I eat so well now that when I eat slightly badly, I can tell how bad it is for me because like everything just goes to shit. I mean, but like if that's true, you're not objectively healthy. You need to have a little resilience based in and not be like neurotic about food. There's some like middle ground. Don't eat badly, but like if everything goes to shit, if you eat badly, like are you actually healthy? I don't think so. The sort of like 90-10 approach makes a lot of sense to me. Be consistent most of the time, but it's okay to have just like a messed up meal sometimes. Yeah. I feel similar. I also feel like I don't really absorb fats that well. Like I think I think I like a sort of like a reasonably lean diet for me suits me pretty well. Which kind of sucks during winter because it's so good to have like more fat in your diet in winter and have like nice braises and stews and stuff like that. I just find fatty meat like I don't respond to that well. What's this? Sometimes fighting on the horse, especially as a ranged character, feels really overpowered. And sometimes I feel like I can't move around and I'm like super immobile. Generally speaking, like sort of like more chicken than I eat and like lots of fish, some shellfish, and then sort of like Asian style. Like I love rice noodles. My body loves rice noodles. I just love them so much. The sort of like go-to vegetable that everyone gets, that everyone like thinks is so good. I'm kind of sick of broccoli. I feel like if I put it in like some sort of stir-fry style dish, it kind of like it's just worse than everything else. Two of my favorite vegetables are like carrots and broccoli, and they both kind of suck in stir-fries most of the time. Cooked carrots are like sometimes good, but usually only in like stewy things. But like putting carrots into sauté dishes, and this is from someone who's like the biggest carrot fan ever. Like it's not good. I've come to accept that. I also find like roasted broccoli in the oven with like olive oil and salt and pepper is so good. I never feel like I really want to buy it lately. It's always like sitting there. It's available at every single season at the grocery store. The head is like wrapped in plastic. I'm like, what am I doing? This is so unappealing. We're going in by the back door. Anybody here? Creepy abandoned graveyard? I'm gonna go my level first and go back here. I've never roasted cabbage. How do you make it? 7,300. $7,500 sounds pretty close. Like, do you slice it? Do you quarter it? What do you do? Oops. I tried to use my Horthy. What's the goal? What's the Samwise Gamgee line? Chop it, something, put it in a stew. Mash it, boil it, put in a stew. Potatoes. This is kind of creepy. Big Bloodborne vibes. I have a look. Call me Achilles. I've got an arrow in my heel. Actually, it's in my toe. Man, that would suck. Getting an arrow in the side of the foot. That's for sure happened to people. Having some Dark Souls 3 Bloodborne vibes here. Yeah, this is the kind of place. That's why I went back with my 203,000 souls. I'm like, this looks like a place that I'm going to get murdered. Weak foe ahead. Are you lying? Still no fingers. Likely weak foe. My heart gets murdered. Is she lovely? Is she tempting me? Is she a succubus? Got a little Maria action here. Wait. I can't use my weapons. Are you pretending to be a good girl? Is a tumbleweed in here? Mist or Beast? We're doing a lot of that, are we? I'm seeing a lot of Fortnite. I'm seeing a lot of Mr. Beast. How'd this guy die? Nice try, Weeb. You're not playing Sekiro.
Well, we don't often receive visitors.
It's a man.
I am Emir. Welcome to Manus Meta. It is a pleasure to have you. In lands so
thank you.
forsaken as these, chance encounters are precious indeed. Seeing that we've convened here on this day, allow me to mark the occasion with a modest offering.
So I assume what he's talking about is... Can't really tell. Does he mean this? Northeast of the Crookie River. Hard to tell. Hard to tell what he means there. That's like the worst one ever. There's not even like an X on it.
The map I gave you charts the site of a hallowed ruin. It is said that after sounding the hanging bell there, one's fate will be guided.
Look at that guy's face. Is he a snake?
Stars. I only wish to be of service, to help those who fight for their purpose.
Look at that guy spinning around.
Am I? I can see it in your eyes. You are a fighter, are you not? Is something the matter? I've given you a map to
You got the map? What's wrong? What's your problem?
Oh, I suppose you expect a lesson of me, do you? I know the feeling. Those with purpose are nothing if not ravenous. For power. For truth.
Ooh.
I, too,
look at me.
am a glintstone sorcerer.
Tommy's in luck.
Stars and examine the life therein. Are you familiar with our findings? Long ago, we began as stardust, born of a great rupture far across the sky.
I'm following you so far.
We too are children of the greater will. Is that not divine? Is that not sublime? And yet, none can fathom its implications. Its utter brilliance.
The fuck? Okay, so 10,000 souls for Miriam's vanishing. I'll be back, bud.
Do mind you wouldn't want to.
Do you mind your feet are on the church? You wouldn't want to hurt the little boy? What does that mean? So I'd have to find the hallowed runes before I can find out what the deal here is. Candlestick? Hole? Is this where the graveyard was? Yeah. Seek flower and then time for sadness. I guess this is where I get murdered. Okay, so they want me to go to the Hallowed Ruins, wherever the hell that is. Okay, I'm gonna go back and fight that fire giant. Can I get another look at this thing? Check around the pillars first, inside the church. Right, I can do that. Can we light some more lamps? I can't raise my torch. It's really unfair, I think. I feel like I would have found her if I could already.
Is something here to squeeze it?
Miriam's vanishing. Oh. Hello.
I've no interest in small talk.
Oh, you're hot.
My only concerns are the concerns of Count Emir.
Oh, yeah.
And you are not among them.
Step on my back.
Only, there is one thing I will say. Count Emir's kindness is a gift. Should you cross him, you will sorely regret it. Begone. There is nothing more to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Begone. There is nothing more to say.
Ooh, she's tough. Ooh, she's tough. Ooh. Okay, I'll go find the Hallowed Ruins. Kinda hard to spot there, wasn't she? Didn't expect armor, is that what it says? Guess that means her. She looks very mobile. Okay, so for the 5th time, let's look at the stupid map. There's no X on it. What are you pointing? Where are you telling me to go? Can't even rotate the map or zoom in on it. Time to get my phone out again. It looks like here. I think it's here. I think it's here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's pretty far away. They got me there. Oh, nice. Smoked sausages, eh? Oh, do I want to go there next? Maybe. I'm gonna go kill the fire giant. Fight this Ahmed guy. Take this road up first. It looks like it, yeah. The river and like the shape of it goes forward, like works well. I had an early start date. It's only 12. Usually it's like 2 at this point. This is a lot of dudes. Oh, out of the air? That was weird. I got some range of those spears. Guys like this I actually find really terrifying. Dudes with spears, long range strikes. They tend to track you even when you roll. They often have like that sort of thrusting, speedy move. I'm not a fan of that either. I got the Grave Glove Ward. Do I even really need to do this? Let's find out. I can kill some of these guys. Just wanted to stunt on them with my twin moons. But I had a funny feeling when I looked at them how lean they were with that long reach. I was like, this is probably not going to work out in my favor. You guys are squishy. Maybe it was you. Maybe you sniped me as I was using my moons. What are we doing? Stay down. Even with more vigor, I feel like this is a weird thing, I guess, like as the expansion goes on, where I'm like, I do not feel comfortable with 70% health. It's still one-shot range. I got nothing for that except 1 flower and a reset. And a flask reset. Okay, okay. Alright, Nightcrawler, chill out. Simmer down. Ugh. I wonder why I did a thrust there. How do I do a thrust? I know so much. I know so little of my swords. How did I do that? How did I do that? There's one. I wonder how I did that other thrust. That guy was like basically standing still or like lightly running, and he kind of paused and did like a slow chubby guy thrust. Never seen myself do that before. The only thrust I've been able to do is right after a roll. Alright, chill out, hop along. I know the trail. It's so difficult. What's the point of all this? Anything else on these bluffs? You guys have like oddly regularly been like buddies here. Since when are these guys my friends? I guess they're just here. The lore is different here, I guess. You want me to do erudition? You're just doing erudition? That's pretty funny. With that outfit? That's a good one. Good meme. Okay, cool. So I can go in the cave. Probably a back way to the shadow tree. I'm gonna go back and do the fire giant now. Seems like the right time. I wonder if I can hit this guy between his legs with a triple moon. Be fun. What just happened? They're so hard to follow. The amount that they chase you is a little tilting, I find, generally speaking. Like, they go from not on your map, they go from not on your screen to like just kind of doing a sideways hokey pokey and killing you. Sick, man. So I wonder if the Spirit Spring has something to do with this guy, like to get height on him or like our leverage. It'd be cool if he was like weaker somehow during rain. I would approve of that. Alright, here we go. Focus on his legs, you fucking dickhead. Wait, can you not? Is that what you mean? That you just like his legs are just not targetable? That would explain a lot. That means this is gonna be like an exercise in how many flasks I can bring. God, it's such bullshit. 0 damage? This is so boring. I find these fights really boring. I mean, especially this one. Is this just all he does? I can see why the hefty pots are... Look at that, man. Like, it's so stupid. Okay, the legs are armored. So do I really have to do the pots? Is it what they do is that they like stagger effectively? God, I hate this shit, man. Like, it's literally fucking invisible. They did no damage because it hit his arm. You basically have to, you can't lock in on him. You need the mobility to make sure the rain of fire's over. And then he's just like here again. Yeah, I think this is like impossible without, like this can't be it. It can't be it that it's like impossible without using fire pots. That's so stupid. That can't be the only way this happens. Do I rock sling him? So AIDS, holy shit. It's so stupid. He only does this one move? Which one do I use? The rock pot? Freezing pot? Where's my support structure? Too far away. Is this really it? You get up top and throw pots at him? I'm gonna read what the signs say. The wording is always so vague. It's a little embittering. Alright, so they're implying as fire pots. I have some of those. I've got a bunch of these, sure. Let's do this like stupid meme fight. Oops, wrong direction. Why would a fire pot be it? Does it explode in his tummy? Shut up. It didn't work? Is he not close enough? Oh, this is so trash. What is this? Not bad. Seems like I can throw them from horse side. Just a little delicate to do so. Okay. Hope I have enough like gas to actually do this. so stupid. It's crazy how stupid this is. It's crazy how stupid this is. I probably don't even need it. Oh, okay. Well, you can't target his legs. So that's like basically the one thing to do. I find these, yeah, tedious is a good example. Tedious is a good description of this. This is very boring. Is this a joke? He's just standing there spewing out fireballs? Not moving to where in range I can throw them on him? This is so trash. This is crazy. And before he walked up closer to them. I wonder how you do this if you don't do like just the one prescribed thing they seem to want you to do. And he's not even like getting near enough where I can do anything about it. Isn't that a bit weird? He's just literally standing there plowing out things the whole time. This is so trash. It's crazy how bad this is. Am I supposed to leap in the air and then drop him into him from above? I don't think you can do that, can you? Yeah, you can. This is crazy bad. Like, what am I doing wrong? If you get out of range, he just still just continues to churn fireballs. He's not close enough away. Look, it does nothing. That is wasted one. He's standing still. This is so garbage. How am I supposed to approach this? Look, he's just doing it again and again in the same spot, which is out of range. This is a bit weird. Like one time, he's got like one of these attempts I got close enough where I could actually toss them in. So what am I supposed to learn from this? It's clearly doable. Lots of people have done this. Why can't I get... Like, what am I doing wrong that he's not even remotely in range? These two different... This is crazy terrible. I don't understand. What am I missing here? Like last second, he's like straightens his head up. And then I just miss that and does nothing, and then just die to the fireballs. can't even click on it. This is so fucking stupid. So I got on range. I have to be a little more patient, but how to put those in. So something about moving over to the right, like, triggered him to, like, actually move so I can get closer to it. Crazy how stupid this is. I'm running too low in these things. This is crazy how bad this is. Wait, what the? I thought he was staggered there. I was mistaken. I think you had to throw in like probably 4 to get the stagger. I hope I have enough flasks to actually make it worth it. This is like, it's, I don't know, I can't stress enough how badly this is made. How many more do I have after this? I can only make 1 more, so I gotta make this count. Like, if the cliff was a little higher, or if he was a little more reliably going to the cliff, or if the fireball spell wasn't so, like, irritating to deal with in terms of the fact that the last few of them are, like, basically just going straight, essentially totally horizontally from off your screen. He's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again. I can't jump for some reason. My stamina is too low. He's still too far. I think he's still too far. This is so shit. It's crazy how shit this is. He's just doing it again. Doing it again. So now I'm gonna die. He's standing here and doing it again. He's already into the next one. I can't believe how bad this is. I'm fucking done so. So I gotta hope for more of those mushrooms now. This is crazy fucking shit. Now I'm out. He's at half. And now I have to what? Like wear him down with Loretto's arrows for... I can't even find my thing. Alright, well fuck that. That's so fucking garbage. I did 4 of them for about half his health. There's no reliable stagger there. That's really frustrating. Like, there's a terrible feeling to do that, honestly. Alright, what am I doing? That was crazy how garbage that was. Wow. That was like absolutely stupid. You have this long ass animation. If he just stretches his head up, it blocks it. You have like a really limited inventory. Do you really need all 6 to land for it to work? Do you understand that it's kind of hard to get this stuff? That's so fucking garbage. That's crazy. Wow, that was a huge bummer and like I think a terrible experience. Another way into the Shadow Keep? Feels like an end game place. I think maybe I'll stop for lunch now. That was like sort of at the right time, being about 3.5 hours in, or 2.5. But yeah, I guess I'll try this area next. I can't say that I'm really having that much fun, honestly. It's slow. The bosses are challenging, which I guess is good, but it's like slow. It feels inconsequential. There's some nice stuff I'm getting, but like it's sort of like a little desolate, and like compare this to the tempo of the last third of the main game. Like this is pretty boring, but it might just be like too much of a certain thing.